guys, my name is Precious, and in this episode of Precious Kitchen I'll be showing you guys how I make eru. Eru is a delicacy in Cameroon. It's a kind of vegetable that is eaten with fufu. It is so good. It's a similar thing to, it's the same thing actually with okazi in Nigeria. So I'll show you how it is made in Cameroon. Let's go over the ingredients and then we can start with the cooking. So you need eru. This is what is called eru in Cameroon, called ukazi in Nigeria. It has a scientific name that is sebulum something. Honestly, I can't call it. I'm going to cut my tongue. So this is it when it has been sliced. It's a hard leaf. It's been sliced nicely. This is the dried version, so I soaked it in water with a little bit of baking soda because that helps to soften it and freshen it up. If you don't want baking soda, you could leave that out. So right here, about 8 cups of eru. So this is spinach. Traditionally, we use water leaf to soften the eru during the cooking, but yeah, I can't find water leaf, so I'm going with spinach. And right here is about 10 cups of spinach. Now, an important thing in cooking eru is that you need to have the right ratio of spinach or water leaf to eru. So I'll always say let you have a little bit more water leaf than the eru, especially if you're dealing with dried eru like I am. So right here I have some smoked meat. I did this myself at home. I'm going to put up a recipe on preciouscall.com, how to smoke meat at home, so be sure to check that out. Right here I have boiled beef skin and beef tripes, what we call kanda and towel. And then I also have some smoked catfish, and underneath the smoked catfish is some stockfish. Yes, some crayfish. My mom would say crayfish is the ingredient of eru. Like, this is what gives it that epic flavor. Without crayfish there's no eru. Seriously, these like mini shrimps that have been dried. So I roughly chopped it. This is about 1.5 cups of crayfish. So I have salt, of course, and some Maggi seasoning cubes. Right here, palm oil. So guys, let's get started with the cooking. The first thing I'm doing is heating up all that perfectly boiled meat, and my smoked meat goes right in. So what happens is you don't want to start putting in your vegetables when there's so much water in the pot, because eru is like a dry, I don't know if we should call it a soup or veggie. What do you think you should call it, guys? Comment below and let me know, because I'm always confused. I don't know if I should call eru a soup or veggie, a stir fry veggie, but it's not a stir fry, so, and it's not also a soup, it's something in between. So when this simmers and the water is reduced until almost completely dried up, I'm going to add in the spinach. So the liquid is well reduced, and I must also note that this meat is salted, so I'm not adding any salt at this point of the cooking. So when it begins to stick to the bottom of the pot, I know that it's time to put in my spinach. So just put in all of that spinach, and it's going to wilt very quickly because the heat just kind of shrinks it so fast. I'll leave it to cook for a few minutes, and I'll be able to stir. When the bulk has reduced, I'll be able to stir. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and rinse out the eru and squeeze it, but don't squeeze it too much so it doesn't get so dry. You can see how much the spinach has wilted, and you see how much liquid we have in there, right? That's the liquid from the spinach. That's why it's very important to start with little or no liquid, because the spinach or the water leaf you use is going to release some of its juices. And also that beef stock we started with is everything. I always like starting with a rich stock of beef, not just meat that has been strained out of the stock, because the stock lends a lot of flavor to the eru. So I'll let this simmer together for like a couple of minutes, then I'll add in the eru. Time for the eru to go in. So the eru is now in, and I'm just going to mix it until it's well incorporated with the spinach. So I love how moist it is at this point. That means our eru is not going to be dry. It's not going to be watery either, because as it keeps cooking, that liquid keeps drying out. And it's like a dry dish, just the vegetable with oil, but it needs to be moist, not so dry. When it's all mixed up, I'll add in the palm oil. I discovered that each time I add in palm oil, mixing my arrow becomes a breeze. Like, it's so easy to just go through it with your spoon. I'll see if I need more. You could add as much or as little palm oil as you want. Some people love their arrow swimming in palm oil, some love little, and if you are not for palm oil, you could go with vegetable oil. I've made arrow with vegetable oil a couple of times and it was just fine, really. I know some people won't agree with this if you are an arrow purist or a arrow purist. But I've made it with, you know, vegetable oil and it was just fine. So I'll let that simmer together. Okay, it has simmered together for about 5 minutes and I really love how moist it looks because the liquid keeps drying out and drying out, but you don't want to start with too little so your arrow is not too dry. I like when arrow is moist but not watery. So I'm putting in the crayfish right now. All the fish stuff, right? And then my smoked fish and my stocked fish. Some Maggi cubes. I love having a blend of fish, meat, beef skin, all the offals, everything in between in my arrow. It makes it so much festive, and that's why I saw my mother make it when we were growing up. She just put in this mix of all kinds of fish and meat. So now I'm going to give this a stir. Everything has gone right in. I must note here that I'm not putting any hot pepper because once again my kids. But pepper is an important ingredient in arrow, so if you have some you could grind some and put it, or you could put it whole, so those who want to eat with pepper could just press the whole ones into their own dishes of arrow. Look at that perfection. Look at that. Can you see that vibrant green color? This is a good time to give it a taste. So I'm just going to go in there and taste it to know if the seasoning is perfect or needs adjusting. Okay, I think it needs a little bit more salt. So I'll sprinkle a little bit more salt and I'll let these things simmer for a few more minutes and you guys, arrow will be all done. So this is it, my friends. It is perfect. It is moist. It is tasty. It smells like heaven in here. Look at that. So you know what time it is, right? It's time for the taste test. This only took about 30 minutes, so it is so easy. Once you have all your meat boiled, your spinach chopped, everything ready, it only takes about 30 minutes to put this together. Let's go for the taste test. So I can't wait to dig in here. Oh my goodness, looks amazing. Some of that fish, some of that beef. So I've washed my hands. I'm having it with some white gari. You could have it with pounded yam, water fufu, akpu, whatever fufu you like, or whichever fufu you like. So this is how we do it. Just take some of that fufu, dig into the arrow. It is so moist, and to me good arrow has to be moist, not watery but moist. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. For the full recipe, go to my blog preciouscore.com. If you liked the video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and also make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.